Love colour. Love character. Love your kitchen. Homebase sponsors Food on 4.
Delicious food is surely one of the great joys of life.
That is very nice.
But what turns good food into wonderful food? I believe it's all about care and attention to detail.
Chuffed to bits with this.
Cooking is my life. I was founding chef at London's Bibendum restaurant, and I've written several best-selling cookery books.
Oh, Lordy, that's good.
In this series, I'll be showing you how to cook some extraordinary food at home.
Artichokes. You know, it's one of my favourite things to eat here.
You'll find it hard to find many people who care as deeply about food as Simon does.
I love discussing recipes with other cooks, and I'll be visiting some great restaurants for ideas and inspiration. I'm here to learn.
That's the first time you've ever said that to me.
Sultanas or raisins sometime?
I've never known anyone more able to dissect a dish and improve on it.
Ooh. Some of the recipes I'll be showing you I've slaved over for decades to get just right.
Worth waiting for, that.
For others, I'll be picking up tips from these chefs who cook them as their particular speciality.
Oh, you've got parmesan on the inside as well?
Parmesan
Never knew that.
With this knowledge and experience, I want to inspire you to cook amazing food and show you how to put together some exceptional menus for a variety of occasions.
Delicious.
And today, I'm cooking with a touch of spice. So, today's menu is a fabulous meal for 4, with a touch of spice and bursting with flavours. I'll be showing you how to create beautiful, surprising dishes from simple ingredients. I love cooking with vegetables, and I want to show you how incredibly versatile and delicious they can be. This menu begins with an authentic Spanish dish, ajo blanco. It's a chilled, silky almond and garlic soup, sometimes known as white gazpacho.
So smooth.
For the second course, one of my most favourite vegetables, the aubergine, baked in a sweet and sticky spiced Asian sauce.
Just smells very enticing.
And for the main course, a very special aromatic tomato curry, served with a lemon pilau and cool cucumber raita.
It's transformed these tomatoes into something that they never knew they had.
To round things off, a rich Italian fruit and nut tart.
It smells wonderful. Really lovely.
By using herbs and spices from around the world, this menu shows how a few simple vegetables can be transformed into very special dishes. Firstly, I want to start with that famous Greek drink, ouzo, and I'm pairing that with a delicious nibble to complement the aromatic aniseed taste. A perfect start to this meal of adventurous flavours.
Ouzo in a glass with some ice, all cloudy, and a bowl of hummus, and some toasted pita bread, and I'm a happy man. So I'm going to show you how to make the best, creamiest hummus. And we will need some chickpeas. Good quality chickpeas, nice and big, and soft and creamy, which is the essence of a good hummus.
Drain the chickpeas, but keep the juice, as you'll need some of it later.
Now, I need to weigh out 230 grams of these. Now, you're probably going to hate me for what I'm about to tell you, but I'm going to peel these.
Rubbing the chickpeas in a tea towel will loosen the skins, an extra step I like to do to get exceptionally smooth hummus.
A restaurant in West London was the first place that I had a hummus that really knocked my socks off. So creamy, so smooth, that how do they get it like that? And my friend Jeremy told me they peel their chickpeas, Hoppy. All the best hummuses are made with peeled chickpeas.
This will give an outstanding texture to the dish, making it better than ever.
Really doesn't take long, and the rewards will really please you. They certainly please me.
Chickpeas peeled, now for the remaining ingredients. Roughly chop 1 clove of garlic and sprinkle over a teaspoon of sea salt.
It's good to use sea salt with this. The coarse texture really helps to get the garlic crushed. It just brings out the juices.
Once crushed to a paste, add to the chickpeas, along with half a teaspoon of ground cumin and tahini, which is a sesame seed paste.
You will find on every pot of tahini this oil. Now, it seems silly not to put some in there to help them to puree, just a touch.
As well as the oil, add 75 grams of the paste.
Go down into the brown glue.
Lastly, add 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice.
Tablespoon. So, lid on. Let's whiz it up.
Now I want to loosen it with a couple of tablespoons of the reserved liquid from the chickpeas. You don't want the mixture too thick.
In the north of England, where I come from, we call it clarty. And clarty is when stuff sticks to the top of your palate. Peanut butter does the same thing. I want it a bit lighter and a bit smoother, losing that stickiness that you get at this stage. Now that is pretty well there. It's very traditional to serve hummus in a particular way. It's a little wall around the edge, and in that goes our olive oil.
Just a trickle, and add a touch of spice with a little cayenne pepper.
Not too much. He says adding a little more.
Next, toast some pita bread and slice into soldiers. Serve with a glass of this distinctive anise-flavoured ouzo with plenty of ice and a little water.
Oh, it's a lovely looking drink. It makes me think of a hot, sunny lunchtime with some meze. Chin chin. In we go. Crisp pita, the creamiest, smoothest hummus you've ever eaten, and a glass of ouzo. I love the way it just leaves a curl of smooth hummus when you go into it, inviting another bite.
And who am I to turn down such a sensible invitation?
Very good.
To follow on from some Greek ouzo, I want to introduce a particularly Mediterranean flavour with this delicious Spanish first course. Ajo blanco is a classic cold garlic soup that was based on a rustic peasant dish, but now enjoyed by many in good restaurants. One of the finest I've ever tasted was made for me in the kitchens of Bibendum in London, my second home.
Every time I walk into this building, it fills me with joy when you see the stained glass windows upstairs and the extraordinary design of the building. It's unique and it's incredibly special to me.
I opened the restaurant in 1987 along with Sir Terence Conran and the late Lord Hamlin. It was an exciting time and a monumental moment in my career.
When Terence Conran first approached me, I was cooking in a small restaurant in Old Brompton Road. Terence used to talk about the Michelin building, and eventually when he'd got it, he sent a little note into the kitchen saying those very words, "I've got it," and a drawing of the Michelin man on a napkin.
I was head chef here for 7 years, and the man who took over my mantle is Matthew Harris.
So much fun, crew start.
Yes, chef.
Working with Simon is exciting. You always learn something, which, you know, is the most important thing as a young chef.
There are some dishes, such as steak au poivre and chocolate petivier, that have been on the menu for 25 years.
What makes good ingredients into a great plate of food is having the respect for the ingredients, obviously having the best quality produce you can, and not messing around with it too much.
And there is one thing here we always put great care and consideration into, and that's the vegetarian option.
You know, depending on the season, there's always loads of ingredients that make a wonderful starter, main course, that don't have to have meat or fish in it.
We'll do something delicious with aubergines and Imam Bayaldi maybe, or a little pastry dish with a duck's egg and some mushrooms. In the summer, of course, lovely cold vegetable soups will come in. Gazpacho maybe, an iced Lebanese cucumber soup. But the nicest of all, on which this menu is going to start, is the fantastic Spanish ajo blanco.
This traditional cold Spanish soup translates as white garlic. It's totally Andalusian, and I can't wait to have another taste of Matthew's version.
Hello. Hello, dear. How are you?
Nice to see you. And you.
We need to talk about ajo blanco, because that one last summer was amazing.
So, almonds in the whizzer.
Yeah. I mean, fresh almonds.
Would be the best.
Would be the best.
Yeah. Slightly more time-consuming, but that's not really a problem if you want the best.
Yeah.
Fresh almonds are seasonal, so if you can get some, they give an especially creamy texture to the soup.
I never put too much garlic in because it's just, you know, I know it's in the name, but it kills it. Yeah. My little trick is the cucumber, which just gives it a vibrancy and freshness that it doesn't always have.
If it wasn't there, you wouldn't necessarily notice it, but when it is in there, it really brings everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's all about the almonds, obviously, but I think it's a really good idea. The thing about it is it's cold, cold, cold.
Yeah, it's got to be refreshing.
Yeah. Lovely. It's a great, great soup.
Yeah.
I think this will be just lovely as the first course on my unusual dinner menu.
So smooth, so cool. Thank you.
Next, armed with Matthew's expertise, I'll be back in the kitchen to show you how to make my recipe for this special soup.
Oh, the garlic's good.
And on my quest to help you turn everyday vegetables into not-so-everyday dishes, I'll be making spicy Asian aubergines.
They smell extraordinary.
Today, I'm cooking a menu with a touch of spice, each course working with simple ingredients and bold flavours to create some dishes of great diversity. For my first course, I'm drawing inspiration from Chef Matthew Harris to make this wonderful cold Spanish soup, ajo blanco.
It's stale bread, water, olive oil of the region, vinegar, garlic, obviously, and almonds. Matthew made this soup with fresh almonds, and it was fantastic. But it's perfectly good and deliciously good made with dried almonds, and it's so easy to make.
Weigh out 200 grams of almonds, which will be lightly toasted.
Now, this is not to colour them. I just want to warm them through and just accentuate the almond flavour, which are, let's face it, quite delicate.
They'll only need a minute or two on a low heat.
Now, all the other ingredients, which we're going to use, go straight into the bowl. So we've got garlic, the ajo.
Roughly chop 6 cloves of garlic.
Sounds a lot, but we need them.
Now for Matthew's new little addition, the cucumber.
This was something which I'd never put in ajo blanco before, but you must peel it. We don't want any green bits. It's a subtle flavour, but it just leaves its note in the soup. Just slice it in. I love recipes that are this easy. It doesn't mean that you can be slapdash about it. And actually getting the flavour right isn't the easiest thing in the world, but the preparation is easy peasy.
Add 2 teaspoons of sea salt, 100 grams of white breadcrumbs, 500 mils of cold water, and 300 mils of olive oil.
It's worth getting extremely good olive oil for this. It's quite a lot, so you're going to taste it.
Pour in 2 to 3 tablespoons of sherry vinegar.
Put 2 in first, you can always add more later. You can't take it out. I think it's one of the most important flavours in this soup is the sharpness. You can make it with red wine vinegar. I don't think it tastes the same. I really don't. So look out a good one. The smoother you get this, the better. I'm going to sieve it as well through a very fine sieve, but the smoother you get it here, the easier it will be to push it through the sieve. It is the most fantastic colour. And now, of course, the best bit, tasting it. But tasting it for seasoning too. Just a touch.
Finally, a good twist of white pepper. And now for the pivotal part of the process, chilling. Ajo blanco must be eaten cold, so leave in the fridge for a couple of hours, along with the serving bowls.
So smooth.
The soup is usually garnished with peeled grapes, but I'm adding a novel sweetness, my homemade quince jelly.
Little tiny spoonfuls which float about in the soup, and you get occasional bursts of fruity sweetness. And finally, just the tiniest little trickle of olive oil. I think I'm going to have a little taste. The contrast between that jelly and the soup, it's very special indeed. Oh, the garlic's good. And, well, it is about the garlic. All about the ajo. Just brilliant. And it's one of the great experiences of pleasure that I know.
These little servings are just right as a first course. A great hit of flavours to fire up the appetite. The pungent garlic perfectly balanced with the delicate, creamy almonds and the cut of the sherry vinegar. Very, very nice. Exceptional food doesn't have to be complicated. Something understood well here at Quo Vadis, a celebrated restaurant in London's Soho.
Charlie, can I have a big chicken salad, please?
Head chef Jeremy Lee is as well known for his flamboyant character as for his imaginative food.
Can I have an anglais, please? Plated up, plump and lovely, like you.
And I admire his instinctive way with any ingredient to hand.
I think the food is primarily instilled from stuff I grew up with. You know, simple, plain fare done beautifully with great produce. And then a distillation of French regional cooking and Italian regional cooking, British regional cooking. And so it's being able to buy the best stuff we possibly can and put it on the plate in its simplest form.
Jeremy is particularly good at robust flavours, such as this delicious beef anglais or skirt steak. He is a cook gifted with sublime good taste. For instance, his famous smoked eel sandwich with horseradish is a case in point. And there's always a traditional pie. This one is a splendid combination of braised pheasant and duck.
Good food at a hearty table with good company is a fantastic thing and brings out the best in everybody.
I'm so looking forward to talking to Jeremy about ingredients and ideas for my menu.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you, darling?
Very well. Very well
Welcome.
indeed.
Very lovely to see you.
And you too.
And you're doing a vegetarian menu.
Well, let's say it's looking at cooking
Without meat.
without meat, poultry or fish.
Yes.
Just cooking
It
pulses, rice, vegetables,
Lovely
just with love. You know.
And care and
Yeah,
consideration. More and more and more, I've enjoyed cooking with vegetables and the fact that they are so extraordinarily versatile and have phenomenal capacity to absorb spice and oil and cook beautifully. And so meat doesn't center a menu the way it used to. And it opens up all sorts of horizons now.
One dish of Jeremy's I love is his baked salsify. Salsify is a root vegetable sometimes called the oyster plant. Now then, some say once cooked that it has a faint taste of oyster. I'm yet to be convinced.
I've got some salsify here for you.
Aha! They are lovely. One of your great snacks.
Oh, they are remarkable.
It's a glorious vegetable.
It is a very beautiful vegetable, and still curiously and remarkably not known.
No.
And puzzlesome.
Once boiled, Jeremy's knack is to wrap the salsify in a sheet of feuille de brique, a wafer-thin pastry similar to phyllo.
This extraordinary porous quality. I mean, it's just the paper is thin as
Yeah,
bread.
it's fantastic, isn't
And
it?
it's amazing cooking this way because everyone thinks you deep fry it. And of course, they're not, they're baked in the oven.
Yeah.
And all
Yeah.
that butter, any excess falls away.
Falls away, yeah.
But keeps the vegetable beautifully moist while it cooks.
Yeah.
I
Oh, you've got
must-
parmesan on the inside as well.
Parmesan on the
Never knew
inside.
that.
Oh, basically, yes, indeed.
Yeah.
You get that lovely on the
Yeah,
tongue,
yeah.
which is just gorgeous. Parmesan, salt, pepper, and butter.
Yes.
And I love the fact that people are puzzled by sheer simplicity and elegance. In fact, there must be something more to this. And you're like, nope, just,
Yep.
you know, very, very, very considered reserve.
And a wonderful celebration of a vegetable that should be more known.
Yes, and loved. I mean, it is definitely a homegrown beauty.
Jeremy's baked salsify is delicious, a perfect example of how any vegetable can be ingeniously transformed into something truly special. For my next course, I want to apply this principle to one of my own favourites, the aubergine.
Some of my friends say I have an aubergine fetish, but it is a favourite vegetable. They're adaptable, they're interesting, they're lovely to look at, and they take on flavours beautifully, and particularly in this recipe.
After the unctuous hummus and the smooth garlic soup, I'm going to liven things up and add a little heat to this menu. For my second course, aubergines baked with a sweet and sticky ginger spring onion and chilli dressing.
This dish I'm going to do is Japanese inspired, and it's particularly good with these sort of Asian-style aubergines.
Begin by slicing the aubergines in half lengthways.
I cut straight through the stalk. It's quite pretty. You don't eat it. It's actually very rare that I do something for the sake of prettiness, but this is one of the rare instances.
Using a small sharp knife, crisscross the surface of the aubergine, but take care not to go all the way through.
What this crisscrossing achieves is when they bake in the oven, they are dressed with a lovely Asian sauce, and it seeps down into the flesh and helps cook it as well as flavour it.
So, on to making the tasty dressing.
Here we have some mirin, which is slightly sweetened rice wine, Japanese rice wine. That is going to make the basis of the dressing.
Bring 200 mils of mirin up to the boil, simmer gently until it's reduced by half, then allowed to cool. Next, soy sauce.
And we need 50 mils of this.
Finely chop 4 spring onions and 2 red chilies.
Let's split them in half to remove the seeds. Don't want this dish too hot. Now we need some ginger.
Peel and grate 1 large knob of ginger. And then take 2 cloves of garlic.
And just give them a bash. And a bit of a chop. What we have here, ginger, garlic, chilies, spring onion, it's a very Asian combination. And one more flavour we need is sesame oil. I'm going to put in a tablespoonful.
Give the ingredients a little stir and then add the cooled mirin.
Now to fry the aubergines.
It's best to use a neutral flavoured oil for this. I'm using about 2 tablespoons of groundnut oil.
Please don't use olive oil. I don't want it to taste of anything, just to fry the aubergines.
Fry for a few minutes on both sides until nice and golden.
You can see now that the frying process has opened up those little crisscrosses, my little diamonds. This frying also, when you colour an aubergine, gives it a little bit of flavour. So, ready to be sauced or dressed. Now we're going to add half the sauce, which will soak in, and then going to bake in the oven. As you do this, just push the spoon in a little bit so it gets right into the crevices.
Place on the top shelf of a preheated oven at 220 degrees for about 4 minutes. When you see them bubbling, take them out and give them a second dousing of the dressing.
It's smelling very good. The aubergines are warm. It just smells very enticing.
Return to the oven for a few minutes until the aubergines are tender and the sauce has become deliciously brown and sticky.
Yes, yes, yes. They smell extraordinary.
They are both aromatic and vibrant with a buzz of chili. Exceedingly good.
This is a really tasty topping to these aubergines. It actually brings out the best in an aubergine. They marry together beautifully. You know, they're not bad, these.
What a way to excite the taste buds. And if you'd like to cook this or any of my dishes, go to channel4.com/Simon Hopkinson and add the recipe to your scrapbook. Next, I'll show you how to transform tomatoes into an unusually special main course.
It's a very exciting curry, this.
And I'm back in the kitchen with Jeremy Lee to unveil the secrets of a divine dessert.
Absolute heaven.
I'm cooking a menu with a touch of spice, inspired by Europe, India, and the Far East. This is an exciting meal of bold dishes with punchy flavours. So far, I've made a smooth hummus, a garlicky acco blanco, and Asian spiced aubergines. And now for the main course. You may not have thought of a tomato curry before, but believe me, this is something rather extraordinary. Wonderfully warm and aromatic, it's a magical dish, served with a delicately fragrant lemon pilau and cooling cucumber raita. Begin by roasting the spices in a dry pan. Add 1 tablespoon of coriander seeds, 1 tablespoon of cumin seeds, and about 10 cardamom pods.
Always get them when they're green. They do discolour, and you lose their aroma.
I will also need 2 star anise, 6 cloves, and half a tablespoon of fennel seeds.
I love the Indian name for fennel seeds. It's sumph. So, half a tablespoon of sumph and half a tablespoon of black mustard seed.
Lightly toast the spices until aromatic, being careful not to scorch them. Be prepared for an intoxicating fragrance.
Wonderful smell. Wonderful smell.
Put 2 tablespoons of sunflower oil in a large pan. Add the spices and fry on a moderate heat for a couple of minutes.
So we've already roasted the spices, but we need to mellow out their flavours. And frying in oil, as with any curry powder, it just allows them to mellow.
Add half a teaspoon of ground turmeric.
It gives, of course, a wonderful colour.
And a small handful of curry leaves.
These are particularly fragrant. They do smell of curry. All these things turn a simple tomato, a sort of tomato reborn, really.
Add the leaves along with 400 ml of coconut milk and a pinch of salt.
This is looking really great already.
To give the sauce a sour note, add a couple of teaspoons of tart tamarind paste.
I mean, we do get a fresh sour taste from the tomatoes, as well as their sweetness, but it just needs a little more sharpness.
Bring up to a simmer and cook for 15 minutes. Once all the spices have infused into the sauce, turn off the heat.
It's been flavoured, but I do want to get rid of the spices. But I'm going to break them up with a hand whizzer just for a few seconds and then strain the sauce so that it's smooth.
Don't whisk for too long. You just want to break them up a bit to release the flavour.
That'll do it.
too fine and they'll end up falling through the sieve.
This is now wonderfully smooth.
There is one final important flavour to add to the sauce.
These little fellows always excite me because what they are fresh green peppercorns, and they add a wonderful aromatic heat.
There are 3 types of peppercorns: black, white and green. They all start out as the same pepper berry, but what makes them different is the way in which they are ripened. Black peppercorns are harvested once the berries are ripe, becoming dark brown as they dry out. White peppercorns have their outer shell removed before they're dried, revealing a lighter colour and with a slightly less pungent aroma. Green peppercorns aren't left to ripen, keeping their pretty colour and berry texture. They are fresh, hot and tangy. Add a tablespoon of these little green gems and pop the sauce back on a low heat.
It's a very exciting curry, this. It's unusual and it's fun. And cooking should always be fun.
And now for the raison d'etre, some lovely small ripe tomatoes.
16. And they need coring. You don't want to eat the core. It's not nice.
Also, you don't want the skins, so pour over some boiling water.
It don't take very long for the skins to loosen. The skin's already starting to split, so easy peasy, really.
Carefully place the tomatoes in the pan and gently simmer for 15 minutes until they've softened a little and the sauce has reduced.
They do want to be soft and they'll hold their shape as long as you don't play around with them too much. So the odd jiggle is a good thing. God, they don't half look pretty. Little beauties they are.
Now for a favourite curry condiment, a cooling cucumber raita. Peel and grate a cucumber and add 1 teaspoon of salt.
It accentuates the flavour and removes excess liquid.
Leave for 30 minutes to drain. Then chop 1 clove of garlic together with the de-seeded green chilli.
Pop this lovely mixture with the cucumber.
Mix in 2 to 3 tablespoons of plain yoghurt.
Don't use a very thick Greek one. It's the wrong flavour and it's too rich.
Add a heaped tablespoon of chopped mint.
You don't want this too fine because if you over chop mint, it starts to go black and lose its freshness. Delicious. The heat of the chilli is nice, and the mint is just perfect.
Raita complete, now for the pilau. Fry a finely chopped onion in 40 grams of melted butter.
I want this onion to be well cooked, but I also want it to get a little bit golden, which accentuates the flavour and makes the rice especially delicious.
Add 200 grams of basmati rice.
Now, the important thing here is to get the grains of rice coated with the butter. This helps the pilau to cook well and leave the grains of rice separate. Fluffy.
For some added fragrance, peel the zest of 1 lemon and cut into thin strips.
And it's going to go into the rice and be stirred around, and we'll add a further fragrancy to the already beautifully fragrant basmati rice. So now we're going to add the water and a little seasoning.
For 200 grams of rice, you'll need exactly 320 grams of water.
I am very particular about this. You've got 200 grams of rice, you want half again, and I always add a little bit extra, which is where the 20 grams comes from. And for me, it always produces perfect pilau rice.
Season with salt and pepper and put back on the heat.
And finally, a bay leaf. So put it in whole because we need to fetch it out again once the rice is cooked. It's just there for a nuance of bay.
Once it's reached a simmer, put on the lid and place in a preheated oven at 180 degrees. After 15 minutes, remove from the oven. Do not lift off the lid. For the perfect pilau, it's imperative that it continues cooking in the residual heat for a further 5 minutes.
Fingers crossed. It looks beautiful. Time to fluff up. Go right round the outside. Oh.
Add the juice of a lemon. And to ensure that the rice is light and fluffy, there is one final process.
To take out the excess steam, get a tea towel, pop it over the pot, press it down a little, and clamp on the lid. And this takes the excess steam out of the rice. And that's for another few minutes.
Now back to the curry. One last thing, a handful of some fragrant chopped coriander.
It's a bit Marmite-like coriander. You either love it or hate it. I love it.
Carefully stir the coriander in and around the tomatoes.
Let's serve this little beauty up.
These three dishes work in perfect harmony with each other. The delicious spicy curry combined with the fragrant pilau rice and the cool contrast of the raita. What a cracking little trio.
Because I'm a cook and I cook all the time, this is what I normally do. Delicious. This has turned out something really quite special, even though I say it myself. It's transformed these tomatoes into something that they never knew they had. I'm proud of this. And you forgot the little burst of the green peppercorns. It's surprising, and I love it for that.
So that's 4 courses done. All that remains is a delicious dessert. I'm going to make an Italian fruit and nut tart. I first fell in love with it 25 years ago when it was made for me by my good friend, Jeremy Lee.
I'd gone to Rome when I was very, very young and eaten this delicious tart that I thought was the most wonderful thing. And somehow it got into my head on my very last shift at Bibendum before leaving to put this tart on the menu. I cut a slice of it and put it on a plate and gave it to Simon. And he just went, wow, that is delicious.
I loved this tart so much I made my own particular recipe. But today, I want to recall how Jeremy made his.
Because I never actually watched you make it. That's the other thing.
No, I think I just remember...
It just came out. It introduced it just from its smell, you know.
I knew that it used a classic frangipan.
You have to use eggs at room temperature and butter at room temperature. Because if you use cold produce, guaranteed it'll split every single time. Now, this is the interesting fun.
And this is why I'm here, to compare notes on the filling, as I really want to see what Jeremy puts in his today, 25 years on.
No pith.
No pith. There'll be no taking the pith in this. No. And I have added lemon before, but it didn't do it for me at all.
I've put lemon in. I have. I know I have before. But anyway, there we are. Different. If we all cooked the same, you know, did things the same way, well, where would we be?
There is that thing. If 10 cooks are given the same recipe, the same ingredients, the same everything, you will always get 10 different results.
Of course. Which is lovely.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank God.
You ain't heard nothing yet.
And then masala. And I think it's, I mean, it's ship's rations, I think, a proper jigger.
Yeah. Now, this is where I said you ain't heard nothing yet.
Why?
Because I also, in mine, put a little bit of limoncello.
That stuff's hell. What?
It's very nice. And as I've got lemon zest, I've put lemon zest in, it's fine.
Corruption. If I did the same to you, see, how can you just smell that? Is that not a much more marvellous?
Use a bit of limoncello.
Me.
It smells wonderful, that.
So there's actually no resemblance between your tart and my tart virtually whatsoever.
There are almonds in it, and there's butter, and there's love in both of them.
There is a great deal of love and affection.
As Jeremy said, 10 different cooks with the same ingredients would make 10 different tarts.
Thank you very much. Oh, that lovely cream, too. Thank you.
Jeremy's tart is absolutely delicious, and I'm delighted to have seen him make it.
Absolute heaven.
Coming up, I'm going to show you how to make, step by step, my version of Jeremy's wonderful tart. A sweet and crumbly finish to soothe and comfort.
It smells wonderful. Really lovely.
I'm cooking a menu with a touch of spice. 5 fabulous courses, each using simple ingredients, yet big, bold flavours. To finish this vibrant menu, what could be nicer than a soothing dessert? A rich and crumbly fruit and nut tart. The recipe comes from Chef Jeremy Lee, and it's a dessert I've loved for years. Now I'm going to show you how to make it, but as all cooks like to put their stamp on things, here is my version.
The significant difference between Jeremy's tart and mine is that he uses a sweet short crust, and I like puff. And this is very much a French thing, but it gives the most gorgeous, crisp base.
Now, I almost never cut corners, but buying ready-made puff pastry is a shortcut that I usually take advantage of. For this, you'll need 200 grams of all-butter puff pastry.
This, when rolled out, will line approximately a 20 centimetre by 3 centimetre tart tin.
Roll out the pastry until it's about 2 or 3 millimetres thick.
Thin as you dare, I would say.
And grease the tin with butter.
Fold it over there. Now start folding it in. Pushing right into the inside, because you want a nice edge to the tart. Now, this is the easiest way to get rid of the overhang. Rolling pin, nearly to the edge, turn it around, and then do that. So now what we do, we just go like this and bring it back up again. I love a traditional pastry edge, which this will give.
Generously prick the base with a fork.
What we're trying to do there is to allow air into the pastry so that it can't puff up. It will go crisp, but we don't want it to rise too much.
Leave to rest in the fridge while we get started on the filling.
So, for the filling, for the frangipan, we need 100 grams of unsalted butter and 75 grams of caster sugar.
Beat together until light and fluffy.
The lighter you get this, the finer and lighter will be your tart.
Add 125 grams of ground almonds and 50 grams of plain flour.
Some frangipan recipes use all ground almonds and no flour, and I think you do need a little flour to help bind the mixture. Otherwise, it's very rich and it doesn't rise as much either.
Another way to keep the filling light is to use a duck egg. It helps achieve a fluffier, richer tasting tart.
People who really know about baking say that duck eggs produce very good cakes. So who am I to argue?
If you can't find a duck egg, then use 2 small hen's eggs instead.
So there's our basic frangipan mix. And to that we're going to add a few more exciting ingredients.
Depending on taste, a variety of ingredients can be added to the filling of this tart. For instance, Jeremy likes using pistachio and prunes when he makes his. What I always do is start by grating the zest of 1 orange and half a lemon.
To this, I'm now going to add 2 liqueurs, both Italian ones. One is limoncello and the other is marsala. Now, dear Jerry, I know we have our disagreements about the limoncello, but it's going into my tart mix.
It gives the tart a fine lemon flavour and a splash of Sicilian sunshine. Add a tablespoon of each, along with half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, a little nutmeg, and 60 grams of candied orange peel.
Now, some chocolate.
You will need 60 grams of good quality chocolate, preferably one that is not too sweet. And buying chocolate chips makes the mixing easy. Fill the tart and smooth it over, ready for the final topping.
We have some pine kernels, which are going to give the tart a lovely crunchy finish. And I look upon those as being the real nut of the tart. There we are. And into the oven.
The secret to a crisp base is to place the tart on a preheated tray, as this will help transfer the heat to the pastry. Give the tart 5 minutes on 190 degrees, then turn it down to 180 and cook for a further 35 minutes. Finally, just before the tart is ready, lightly dust with icing sugar and return it to the oven for 2 minutes to create a lovely glaze. It smells wonderful, really lovely. If the gorgeous smell isn't enough to seduce your appetite, then the crisp and crumbly pastry and the crunchy pine nuts most surely will. Serve warm with plenty of thick cream and enjoy the wonderful fruit, nut and chocolate flavours. So good old intelligent Jeremy Lee coming up with a delicious tart like that. So here's to you, Jeremy, with your beautiful tart made by me. So, 5 courses, each contrasting with the other, and showing just how good everyday ingredients can be. From the smooth hummus with iced ouzo, to the cool, creamy ajo blanco, followed by those spicy baked aubergines, and the vibrant, aromatic tomato curry with lemon pilau and cucumber raita, all rounded off with the Italian fruit and nut tart. You can add any of these recipes to your very own scrapbook at channel4.com/Simon Hopkinson. Next time, a unique and wonderful Sunday roast.
Oh, lovely.
Very pleased with that.
Especially surprising and rather clever.
Hands are shaking doing it. I'm so excited.
It's a truly delicious feast.
What could be nicer?
So be here to watch that exclusively on More 4 next Monday night at 9. Yum, yum. Tonight, E.T. may have come home. There've certainly been some extraordinary sightings. Our out-of-this-world documentary, Investigating Aliens, is next.